Have any of you ever been in a position where you know you wouldn't get to unless you made your own path? Well, today I'm going to talk about immigration. I have met a lot of people that have impractical judgments towards people they don't know anything about and don't know their situation or where they have come from. And I want to let you know that I am married to an immigrant, so I know, not firsthand, but I guess secondhand, what it's like to kind of be an immigrant, because I've had to go through that with him. So, the topics I want to talk to you about that that I want to persuade to you to understand where immigrants come from when they come here illegally, and I'm going to explain this to you by showing the causes of the causes of immigration, the benefits of immigration, and the pressure on families that immigration puts on them. So, the causes of immigration, one big one obviously is war, which everyone I think they know that, especially the wars going on right now in Syria, the bombings and all of that, the chemical warfare with the civilians over there, and all the children that are suffering because of this, and all the innocent civilians. I, for one, wouldn't want to live in this situation. I don't think anyone would. So I don't think people should be judged on wanting to live this, not wanting to live this kind of life and wanting to leave and get away from that. And a lot of people think, well, your government should be able to take care of you. You should feel safe where you're at. It doesn't look like their government is taking care of them where they're at. There's fires in the streets, and you can tell there's death everywhere, and bodies on the ground in the streets, and there's just war. You can't walk outside your front door without being afraid of getting shot while you're going grocery shopping. And this is what it's like for a lot of immigrants that do decide to come to America. And it's really difficult for them because you don't know how much strength you have to leave everything behind, where you grew up, where your life is. But there's a point that it gets to, this specifically when there's fires in the streets and war at night keeping you up, and drugs everywhere, and especially in Mexico, where my husband is from. There are a lot of cartels there, the drug cartels. And there's one instance that his brother actually was on his way back from the United States visiting, and he was on a bus back home to where he lives in Mexico. And the cartel actually stopped the bus and put guns to everyone and stole everything they had, including all of his brother's money, his phone, all his belongings he came back with from the United States when he was visiting. It's just really hard to think about whenever because I know someone who has gone through that. It's really hard to think like they actually live this way. It's easy to think this isn't really happening when it's not happening to you. My second cause, the second thing I have that causes immigration is people's wish to live the American dream. Everyone wants to be in a place where they're free and there's no warfare going on, and they can walk to the grocery store or drive to the grocery store without being afraid of not coming home. Everyone that comes from a different country wants to be able to make a life for their family and not live in fear, and want their kids to grow up and have a life for themselves. So now that I've talked about the causes of immigration, I want to turn your attention to the benefits of immigration. A lot of people don't know this, but the economy is actually boosted when immigrants come from other countries. A lot of this is distorted from the government because they feel like people shouldn't be here illegally, which I understand they should come in legally, but there's a point where it takes way too long, and if you take those steps that they want you to take to get into the U.S. legally, you're going to be dead by the time it comes around. But the economy is actually boosted because when illegal immigrants come in from different countries, they don't have green cards. So really, they're going to take any job they want, which means the Americans don't have to to take those dirty, gross jobs because the immigrants, they're willing to do that to provide for their family in America. And whenever they take these jobs, it makes Americans more useful elsewhere, and that way they get higher paying jobs. So the government wants you to think that they're stealing our jobs when really they're helping us get better ones because they're taking the bad ones, the ones that no one wants. Another benefit of immigration is forcing themselves to overcome certain risks that come along with moving to a different country, especially legally. In this picture here, there's a dad, it looks like, and he's walking a desert with his children trying to get to America. They've crossed the border, and that's all they have with them. They don't have anything else. That's all they're left with because you can't drive an RV across the border if you're illegal. You have to take what you can carry, and that's it. And it's really hard to think about that because kids have no idea what's going on, and they're hoping that when they get to this new country that it's going to be better than where they were at, and they're not going to have to live in fear anymore. And that's really hard because parents just want to have a better life for their children, obviously, and they don't want to have to see them grow up around warfare. And whenever this happens, a lot of the kids, they grow up and they become a part of the cartel if this is all they know and the only way to get by and get money in the country. So since I've covered the benefits of immigration, I want to share with you the pressures that immigration puts on families. So like I said in my previous point, the detriments that come with the families that come from different countries. Parents stay up all night working. They never see their children just so that their children can have a better life than what they had in that other country. And it's really hard because my husband, his parents were part of that. They never saw him, and they trusted him to kind of take care of the family, and that was really hard on him because he had to get a job at a really young age and try to support them as well as why the parents were at their jobs too, trying to make money. Also, the pressure it puts on families is the fact that they might get separated. I've known people that have been deported away from their family. Part of their family gets to stay here. Some of them get sent back, and it's really hard on them because it tears their family apart, and they don't see their family for years at a time. And it's been really hard because my husband's family has had this happen to them, and I've seen the detriments it causes towards families, and it tears them apart. So I want to explain to you that today I've talked to you about the causes of immigration, the benefits of immigration, and the pressure on families immigration causes. So before judging other people on the path they chose in life, picture yourself in their position. Maybe we're not all that